Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks. So the Wendy Williams show is officially over, and watching the finale without seeing her there is definitely heartbreaking. I guess it was just knowing all the work that she put in to elevate the show to the level that it reached, only for it to come crashing down and burning the way it did was like, wow, you're really just nothing but paychecks to these companies, and once they see that you're no longer useful, they will throw you out to the slaughter. And speaking of throwing out to the slaughter, child, I don't know if you heard, but they are talking about throwing out her prestigious purple chair. And get this, not only the chair, they throwing out the wigs too. Baby, they are not playing with your girl Wendy Williams. Also, I want to update you on this case that Kevin, whatever his name is, has against Debmar Mercury. Baby, they are not paying this man coins. They are only paying him dust. But before we get into all of that, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any of this tea. Now let's get back into it. Wendy Williams' 14th season ended just like it began, and that's without the show's host. So get this, the Wendy Williams show put together a 9-minute segment dedicated to Wendy. They started by showing the show's very first guest ever, Vanessa Williams, and then they added some of the highlights of the Wendy Williams show. And honestly, to sum up the 13 seasons that Wendy was actually on the show into just 9 minutes, in my opinion, just is not right. She should have been there. It should have been a whole hour of this montage. It just was not given what it was supposed to give, and honestly, Wendy wanted to be there. From what her good friend Jason Lee is saying, sis was not pleased with the way it ended either. Take a listen at this.
Yo, so yesterday I talked to Wendy and I was telling her that I wasn't supporting the finale of her show. And for the first time ever, Wendy was upset. And she told me that she talked to the owners of the Wendy Williams show. And when she said, I spoke to the owners of the Wendy Williams show, when she said she spoke to the people who owned a show with her name, it struck me really deeply, because as a content creator who owns his own brand, this is what I be fighting with the industry, because I don't want nobody to own me or own my name. And when she said she talked to the owners of the Wendy show and that she had seen the previews of the finale and she had been talking to them about coming back in the fall, that she was really offended that they would end the show the way that they did and not invite her to be a part of it. And I just have to say that it was so disrespectful the way they handled that. But it just goes to show that ultimately, if you put your brand in the hands of them people, they will do whatever they want to do. And this is why Hollywood Unlocked and the Jason Lee show and every other thing that I create cannot be owned by them people. And I may never be as big as I believe I can be, because I will not sell out. I just can't. You know, it's really sad to see how they handle Wendy Williams, bro. Like, and to every content creator out there, do your best to stay hungry and never thirsty. Focus on ownership. Focus on owning your brand. Focus on controlling your property, because you don't want to work your whole life to have some niggas just sell your shit or end your shit and fuck off your whole legacy like that. You can say whatever you want about Wendy. She this, she that, she was this, she that. I don't know none of that. What I know is that I talked to Wendy yesterday and she was not happy with how the show was handled. And she told me that she's going there to clean out her office and pick up her chair and her furniture, and it's just sad, bro. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's sad. So, happy Saturday. Is it Saturday? Happy Saturday. And I don't know. Bye.
As you already know, it's out with the old and in with the new. Since they ended her show on Friday, they have already removed her poster from outside of the studio, and a source close to production told The Sun that memorabilia such as her wigs and that purple chair is going to be thrown out if Wendy don't come bring her ass down there to come and get it. They go on to say production is not even bothering to try to donate the chair to a museum like The View did with the original table. After 10 years, they gave it to the Smithsonian. They're not doing that with Wendy's chair. They said, look, come and get your stuff or it's going to be out in the street. Needless to say, it looks like they are pretty pissed off at Wendy, and it doesn't even seem like they are doing a good job of covering it. In all honesty, I don't really know what's going to happen with Wendy at this point. She seemed like she felt like she was coming back to the Wendy Williams show, and everybody was like, nah, sis, they not letting you come back. So it does seem like she's going to have some type of podcast deal. There's been rumors going around about $100 million deal. They just want to make sure Wendy is well prior to doing it. I don't know what's in the works for Wendy. All I can say is that I wish her well. Now, another person that was not too thrilled with how the show ended was a person that was there from its conception, and that's Wendy's ex-husband, Kelvin Hunter. After the finale, he was stated saying this: I feel like it's a travesty on the part of Debmar Mercury to have such an unceremonious departure without Wendy being involved. It is the first time in the history of talk shows for this to be done, especially for a show that has been on for more than 10 years. There is absolutely no reason why a bigger celebration that involved Wendy couldn't happen. He goes on to say, I know the blood, sweat, and tears that went into making the show such a success, and I'm not happy with the way the show is going out on a personal level, and I'm truly sorry that the show's fans have to see it go down the way that it is. This is probably the only time that I would agree with Kelvin, but I definitely feel like he's right in his stance. Well, speaking of Kelvin, we all know that he sued the production company for the Wendy Williams show, Debmar Mercury, for wrongful termination. He claimed he was fired on the basis of his marital status, and this is barred by the state of New York City human rights law. Kelvin pretty much is saying that he got let go days after Wendy filed for divorce, and termination was strictly based off of his marital status and not because he wasn't performing his job well. Now, I told y'all in videos before, I don't know how the hell he expected for him to have a new baby and Wendy be okay with divorcing him, still seeing his face at work every day, knowing how emotional that would be for sis to have to go directly on TV in front of millions and act unbothered.
All is well in Hunterville.
How Huntersville became Whoville, and Wendy was not here for Sharina, Kelvin, or their shenanigans. Now, Debmar Mercury is looking to file a motion to dismiss this complaint. They see it as Kelvin trying to have a money grab because he knows pretty soon his waters will be running dry. They go on to say this: plaintiff alleges that he served as executive producer on the show from 2007 until April of 2019. Plaintiff is also Williams' former spouse. Plaintiff states that as executive producer, he acted as the intermediary between Williams and defendant, managed Williams' day-to-day schedule, and maintained Williams' professional and personal well-being. Plaintiff alleges that on April 11, 2019, Williams served him with notice of her intent to divorce him. On April 18, 2019, plaintiff alleges defendant provided him with formal notice of his termination from the Wendy Williams show. Plaintiff now asserts a single claim of discrimination under the New York City human rights law, NYC. Specifically, plaintiff alleges that he was terminated because his marriage to Williams was ending. This is where they start to eat him up and chew him out. Legal basis for defendant's anticipated motion: marriage to a particular person is not a protected category under the NYCHRL. The basis of plaintiff's claim appeared to be the allegation that plaintiff's role as executive producer on the Wendy Williams show was terminated because Williams, the show host, filed to end their marriage. Such an allegation, even if true, cannot support a claim for marital status discrimination. So without going into reading all of the documents, what I got from reading it is the only way that he can use this clause is if they fired him for being married or if they fired him from being unmarried. So say, for instance, you're at a job and they're like, we only want married people here and you're not married anymore and we're going to get rid of you. Or you're married and we don't want any married people working here. That's the only time it seems like this clause can work. And Kelvin tried to make it work for him, and it doesn't seem like they're going to allow that to happen. And reading more, it says this: here, plaintiff's theory that he was discharged because of his pending divorce with a particular person, Wendy Williams, categorically does not constitute a claim that he suffered discrimination because of his marital status under the NYCHRL. The New York Court of Appeals has held that the prohibitions against marital status discrimination under NYSHRL and NYCHRL prohibit discrimination only on the basis of marital status, i.e. discrimination based on the mere fact that a person is married or unmarried. In other words, the good old boys of Debmar Mercury have told Kelvin Hunter, you tried it, we're not giving you anything, you tried to use the law against us and now it's working against you. Well, the judge has not had a final say so. This is only what they're saying. There's really no proof of what's going to go on with the situation. I don't know how it's going to end, but it seems like Debmar Mercury has a pretty strong case. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think about how Wendy Williams' show ended. Will you be watching the Sherri Shepherd show? And how do you feel about everything going on with Kelvin Hunter? Leave a comment, and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new episodes.